The Bills just signed the legend himself. The man, the myth, the timeless, Latavius Murray. Hey man, I like it. I know he's old, he's like 33. Definitely not gonna be the starter, but if injuries happen, he's proved all the way up until last year, he can still go. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and happy Monday. Since the draft is done, we can now go on to the much requested me predicting every NFL team's record for the upcoming season. I did this almost exactly a year ago today. I just checked. Last year I did it on May 4th. Today is obviously May 1st. Thank you guys for being patient. This has been requested literally nonstop since the off season. So before we hop into it, 1, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And 2, if you guys are 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are, guys, and again, simple as hell. At the top, we've got teams who I think will have 13 or more wins. Under that, we've got teams who I think will have 11 or 12 wins. In the middle, we've got the 9 to 10 win teams. Below that, we've got the 6 to 8 win teams. And bottoming the list, we've got the teams who I think will win 5 games and under. So without further ado, let's get started with Seattle. I have them at 10 wins. 2 of their division rivals are terrible. They got Bobby Wagner back, and they had a pretty good draft. This team was able to win 9 games last year when everyone counted them out. I think it's time to take them serious. I'm going to give them 1 more. I have them at 10. Up next, we got the Patriots. 7. Someone's going to have to do bad in the AFC East this year, and I think the Patriots roster-wise is the worst. Jets got what they needed. The Dolphins got better with Jalen Ramsey, and the Bills, as much as I thought they were honestly going to decline, they really didn't. Not a bad team, but you've got a brutal division to play against. Now moving on, we got the Steelers. 9. Look, I can see myself being wrong on this one. I know their defense is still good. Mike Tomlin's always going to keep them in the race, but realistically, their offense is still young, and someone in that division is going to have to do somewhat bad. That brings us to the Bears. 8. And that's a good 8. You guys won 3 games last year. That's 5 more. Very good offseason, had a reasonably good draft as far as I'm concerned. I think they're going to be much better. Now we've got the Bengals. 11. That's not bad. I know Bengals fans are going to be upset because they want me to say 12, 13, 14. I think 11's a very realistic number. Your defense took a small step down, but your offense is still going to be there to score 40 points if you need to. All right, that brings us to the Raiders. 7. Last year I said they were going to be the worst, and the fans were all mad at me because they said they were going to be so good. Hey, I was wrong. They weren't the worst. They were the second worst. Still didn't make the playoffs. Just like this year, you're not going to make the playoffs, and you're still going to bottom the West. Now we are on to Cleveland. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again. I'm giving them 11. They're going to be good. If Deshaun is good. That's really the only impending factor here. If Deshaun Watson converts to Houston Deshaun Watson, that team legitimately might not lose a single game. Now, obviously, I'm not going to predict that. Not everything is going to go 100% right, but I do believe I'm being realistic when I say that they could win 11 games, they could win the division, and they will go to the playoffs. Moving on, we got the Falcons. 9 wins. I think they'll be in contention to win the NFC South. They've made me a believer that they can be a playoff caliber team this year. If you're asking me, it really all rides on Desmond Ridder. If he's good, they could be one of the best teams in the NFC. If he's not good, well, then they're just probably going to be the same Falcons from last year, but with a better defense. That'll bring us to Miami. 11 wins. They got even better. I think they've got a very smart coach. I think they've got a very good quarterback, but he's got to remain healthy the entire time. And they've also got to avoid their late season collapse like they had last year, even when Tua came back. Roster-wise, though, there's no doubting that team has potential to go all the way. Now we've got San Francisco. 12 wins. They've proved that they can be good with literally anybody at their quarterback, just somebody who can function and throw a ball. If their roster can remain in good health and intact like they were last year, not a doubt in my mind they will walk right to a division title and right into the playoffs. I mean, they are still just such an absolutely loaded team, it's disgusting. All right, moving on, we got the Commanders. 6 wins. They're still the worst team in their division. They're still inconsistent. Their front office is still a joke all the way up to the ownership. Terry McLaurin's going to have 1,000 receiving yards, but other than that, I just don't see anything good coming out of this year for the Commanders. They would really stun me if they did something good. Now we've got Dallas. 13 wins. They have legitimately one of the best rosters in the entire league. Last year, they were able to get 12 wins with a worse roster, with a Dak Prescott who was not playing at his highest potential. If they were not in the same division as Philadelphia, this would be the most sure shit division winner / walk into the playoffs imaginable. The only thing I don't like about their team is still their coach, because I think he's nothing other than a pudding-filled hippopotamus. Now we've got the Eagles, 14 wins. I mean, really? Did you need DeAndre Swift? Was that at all necessary? Long and hard thinking, I'm not really sure what realistically you guys could do at this point to have a better team going into the season. It's ridiculous. It's not fair. It's not funny. It's not cool. Doesn't make everybody like you. It makes you guys a bunch of fucking bullies. Now we've got Denver, 11 wins. Hey! This team without Nathaniel Hackett is going to be a good team. Look at the team when Hackett got fired. They were throwing up numbers. They were throwing up points. Look, I know there's a couple promises I've made that I haven't completed, like the Perm and the Texans jersey, but every other promise I think I've done and fulfilled for you guys. The Broncos get under 10 wins. I'll go to Denver and take a selfie in front of the stadium wearing a clown suit. All right, now we've got the Vikings, 9. Still think their defense is going to be terrible. Yeah, their offense will be elite. Kirk might throw for 1,000,000 yards, but this team winning 13 games last year was already a little bit of a miracle in itself. This year, I don't expect them to even come close to that. Offense will get them 9 wins. Defense will lose them 8. Moving on, we got the Lions. They'll win 11 games. This is their opportunity to take a division championship, and they will do it this year. They are better than the Packers right now. They're better than the Vikings right now. They're better than the Bears right now. They had like the number 4 or 5 offense in the league last year. I expect that to transition into this year, as well as their defense, which was awful, is now probably going to be a top 20 at least defense. That'll bring us to the Titans, 4 wins. They're going to be terrible. I don't think they put a penny into their defense this offseason. I believe not only the Jags, but the Texans are now a better roster than them. The Colts, arguably. Even with Mike Vrabel being a fantastic coach, I just don't see them having success this season. Now we got the Cardinals, 3 wins. They will have the worst record in football. I just talked about that last week. They have nobody, and they're going to be missing Kyler for probably the first half of the season. Yeah, I know they technically still have D-Hop, but I do not expect them to keep him, and Budda Baker also wants out. Like, you guys are looking real rough right now. That brings us to Green Bay, 8 wins. And they'll be a tough 8-win team. They're gonna play every team good. I don't have a vision in my head that says Green Bay is gonna be a bad team. No. I have a vision in my head that just says Green Bay is gonna be very unfamiliar with what they have offensively. Defensively, the team is still going to be the same. Offensively, the team will still be similar, but there is going to be situations and obviously moments where Jordan doesn't come up where Aaron would have. It's going to be getting used to that. That's probably going to hold them down a little bit, but I would almost guarantee that 2 seasons from now, they're going to be right back to where they were. That brings us to the Ravens. Oh boy, 9 wins. Other than the Steelers in that division, I don't know why. I can't explain it. I just think the Ravens are going to disappoint. I think they're going to underperform. Lamar tends to not only have a massive cool down, but battle an injury at least once a year that will keep him out for a couple weeks. I do think you're a good team, but I just don't think you're gonna keep up with Cincy or Cleveland this year. All right, now we're on to the Texans. You ready for this? Simply due to their division being absolutely trash besides the Jags, I actually think Houston's capable of winning 9 games. I think that their roster has not only gotten so much better, but their coach actually cares and knows what they're doing, and he has a long-term picture. And on top of that, they just got the best quarterback they've had since Deshaun Watson. Even if CJ doesn't do that good, I still think this team has such high potential, especially after the draft defensively. They can win 9 games. Now we've got the Bills, 12. They're still the best in the AFC East. Yeah, I might be biased, but their defense, I mean, I was expecting them to take a huge decline. They didn't. They lost Tremaine Edmonds. Offense is still the same, plus now they have Dalton Kincaid, plus Damian Harris, Latavius Murray. Defense, they still got Hyde, Poyer, Milano, Rusu, Von Miller, Ed Oliver. Like, they're fine. Now we're on to the Colts. 5 wins. Suppose I do think they have a better roster than Tennessee if I have them having another win. I don't know. I just believe that their team is going to struggle. They're not going to have really a game plan, especially with Anthony Richardson still developing. But Jonathan Taylor and Darius Leonard being back, or Shaq Leonard, will be enough to help them and at least keep them afloat to 5 wins, I would think. Now we got the Panthers. 8 wins. I see them right around 500. They were not that bad last year. They're still not that bad this year. Bryce Young, I don't expect to just come in and light it up. He could. I don't expect it right away. I kind of expect the Panthers to be a team that has a really good defense and an okay offense for the first half of the season, and then they're going to start to find their bearings, and they're going to be really, really electric. Hopefully Thielen can stay healthy. Now we've got the Chargers. 9 wins. First of all, Eckler's an uncertainty. Second of all, Denver got better. Thirdly, they still have Staley, and I don't see that team having long-term success with him as their coach. Now we're on to the Chiefs. 13. They could literally have my high school's 0-9 varsity team. As long as they have Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're going to win 13 games. Now we're on to the Jags, 11. I wanted to say 12, but that might sound a little bit outrageous with them. Not that I haven't said anything outrageous already, but I want to believe they're still going to make mistakes. You know, they're not going to be a perfect team, but they're going to win the division. They're going to go to the playoffs. They're probably going to win a playoff game. And Calvin Ridley, I expect to probably receive for around 14 to 1,500 yards this year. Trevor Lawrence was one of the better things to happen to the team. Doug Peterson might have been the best. I really don't like him as a person, but man, he knows how to coach. That, and they're gonna bully their division around. Up next, we got the Giants. 10 wins. The Eagles and Cowboys will make it difficult for them to string together a lot of wins, especially in the division. But outside of it, the team is gonna be better than they were last year with Brian Daboll, who was the coach of the year. I honestly expect the team to just be more developed and more oriented around his style of offense, where honestly Daniel Jones is gonna thrive. Now we're on to the Rams. 7. I don't think the team is gonna be dog shit doo-doo like the bottom 3 here. They still have Aaron Donald, they still have Matt Stafford, they still have Cooper Kupp, they still have playmakers, but they don't have nearly as many as they once did. They'll be a competitive team. They'll be afloat for majority of the year, but I expect the last 6 weeks or so for them to really just fall out. That brings us to the Jets. 9. Playoff contending team. They got Rodgers. That's gonna be an immediate help to their offense. I just can't look at that roster and say it's better than Miami or better than Buffalo. And then it comes down to the rest of their schedule, where I'm sure it's not gonna be favorable every single week. They're gonna be tough, but I don't know about the 11 wins I originally had them at. Now we're on to Tampa Bay. 5 wins. They're gonna be terrible. They have a great roster, but they have a coach who doesn't have a brain in his head. No joke, if Todd's not gone in the first 5 weeks, you're fucked. And ending, we got the Saints. I got them at 9. I think they're gonna be a very good team, but kind of like I just said with the Bucks, except not as dumb. Dennis Allen is gonna hold them down. The guy has just never been a good head coach. He wasn't a good head coach last year. Saints have potential to win the division. They have potential to be a playoff team. They have potential to win 13 games probably. I just don't see it with Dennis. And that is going to be it for me predicting every team's win total as of now. Last year I only did 1. This year I'll probably only do 1. So let me know where you agree. Let me know where you disagree. With everything I just said though, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday. And as always, I will see you in the next video.